put some lipstick on this pig and see what happens. Let's see. Oh, we got signal. So we have everything out of the box. We'll go over with you what all is in here, what everything does, and then we'll start going to the vehicle, breaking everything apart. This looks like it's going to be an easy project. So the main thing in the box is the main unit itself. As you can see here, I've got it on towel so it doesn't get scratched up. Replace everything. You'll have 2 vents up here, then you'll have your HVAC controls down here. Everything will flip over. You'll have some bolts that bolted in. I think we'll have some bolts there. Once we get everything disassembled, we'll figure out. This looks like it will just pop out. There's the tabs there. On the main unit back here, you'll have your antenna adapter, which is this big guy. Goes in there. You'll have your hookup for your GPS antenna, which is in that big envelope. And then you'll have your place for your harnesses. These small harnesses up here will be things such as your control for subwoofer, USB. There's actually a provision here to retain the factory USB, which is really nice on that F-150. It didn't come with that. And then this will be your main power unit. It will go in there. It even comes with an extra fuse in case something happens and that one blows. There's also a backup camera in here. If it quits raining today, we're going to get that installed. That'll be easy. It will plug into all this, which plugs into there. And that's everything that's in the box. It also comes with the owner's manual. The one thing I like about Eonon is it comes with this really nice schematic that tells you everything that's in the box. It also breaks down what every cord says, but it also tells you on here, on the wires, you can see steering wheel controls, ground, etc., what all this does. But then if you flip it over on the back, it actually has a pinout that tells you inside of each one. Hypothetically, let's say you had to tap a wire. You could just go here, and it even breaks it down on that harness, and then these little individual harnesses too, like USB 5 volt in your ground, your USB DN1 and DP2. So it's going to be like, this is going to be your, if it's charging your USB, and this is going to be for the signal, right, Bradley? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you've got your brake shift control, and you should have your backup camera input, Wi-Fi antenna, all that stuff. So this is the best schematic I have ever seen on a stereo. This is one thing I really like. A lot of them don't get this in depth. So a lot of them just print it on the wire, but I like the fact that these actually have these little labels that tell you what they're for. So now let's go do the fun part. What is this, Bradley? This is a
2016 Jeep Compass.
2016 Jeep Compass. So Bradley, I'm gonna let you do the work. That should just, we should just be able to work our way around here, pop this out.
So the driver's side first, right?
It doesn't really matter. You just gotta find somewhere. Try it over here, Bradley, since you got a little bit more room. If that doesn't work, Bradley, I haven't. Normally don't use these, but. There you go. There we go. Now you've got a release here, here, 3 on top, and then 1 on that side. Now once you get it started, Bradley, we should be able to just get our fingers in here.
There you go.
And pop it loose, okay? Bradley, remove that one plug. That is for our HVAC control. Flathead here, Bradley. You can push it out. Okay, that is our one HVAC control. Now that's out of the way. Now turn that over for me, Bradley. We will have 4 screws. What we're going to do is take this back in the house, transfer it over. But while we're here, we're going to go ahead and pull this out. Bradley, what size do you think these are Phillips heads, but what is that, like a?
It's a quarter.
It's going to be something metric, Bradley.
Oh, well.
It's going to be like an 8 or a, try an 8. 8 or maybe a 6.
I don't work in metric.
Is it too big?
It's too big.
Okay, it's going to be like a 7. Or it could be something American. This is a Jeep.
That locks. That's good.
Okay. Switch your head there, Bradley. Don't lose that. That's a 10. That's the most important socket in metric.
Mm-hmm.
They're in numerical order, Bradley. Yeah. Bradley, I don't know if you know this or not, but I keep a 10 on me all the time. Okay, so we got 4 bolts, screws, whatever. Okay. I was gonna say if that was empty, we just put them in there. This might be better with a screwdriver, huh, Bradley?
Might be.
Let me go get a screwdriver, Bradley. Oh, well. The problem we're running into is where this is so tight, so I would recommend doing this with a drill or a driver or a screwdriver. Or you can do it with, what is this, 7mm, Bradley?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, all right. Slide that thing out, Bradley. Okay. Now you should have 1 or 2 on the back. Oh, you got, this will be your antenna. Should be your antenna. It's gonna be your antenna, I do believe. Has this been replaced, Bradley?
Yes.
Oh, did your old one quit working, or?
It doesn't have Bluetooth. My other one didn't.
Oh, so you've already upgraded it once. Now we're going to upgrade it again. So you have what, 4? Yeah, 4 connectors there, Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
Was the old one just direct plug and play?
Yeah.
Here you go, Bradley. Got them? Cool. So now everything is disconnected and out of the way. So now what we'll do is we'll go in the house, transfer that over. See if that's a 7mm, Bradley. If that's the same size, it looks a little bit smaller.
I think it's the same.
It's the same. Yeah, cool. So, oh, don't take it loose shit, Bradley. So now we'll go in the house. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a magnetic dish and put it up here to put our screws in. And like I said, we'll take this in the house, start transferring everything over, put the wiring harness together, slap this bad boy back in, and it's quit raining for now, so we might be able to get our backup camera installed too. So, sweet. So now we'll go back to the house. Everything is transferred here over to the table. We will have 4, those 7s, Bradley, 4 7mm. We can either use the socket or I got a driver, Phillips head. Then how many bolts we got up here, Bradley? 4?
Also 4, yeah.
3, 1, 2, 3.
3 each, yeah.
Are those 7s too? Or a Phillips head?
I think,
Up here, so yeah. And those are for your vents. Those will go, you'll have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Like I said, you'll have 4 here. This is for your HVAC unit. Now, flip that over, Bradley. Something I ran into on the Civic was, it doesn't appear this way. On the Civic that we did, the knobs were bigger than this. So you had to pull the knobs off.
Yeah.
Put the stuff over, then put the knobs back on. But it appears that these will just come right through. So let's start on the bottom, Bradley. You'll have 4. Okay, so we'll take this straight over. Now my suggestion too here is, I don't know if these screws are different lengths or whatever, so we're going to do them one at a time, that way we don't get the screws mixed up. So we'll take this over. It does just come straight out. Okay, Bradley. Hit me with the screws. Now Bradley, my suggestion is get them all started. That way in case we have to move them around or it's a little off center or whatever. Get them all started and then we'll go back and snug them down. Go ahead and snug the rest of them down there, Bradley. Okay. Try the, those can't be that tight. Huh. Remember, this is plastic, and plastic, so you're putting a screw through plastic into plastic, so don't go crazy. Hit that one a little bit, Bradley.
Still on.
Okay, sweet. So our HVAC controls, make sure everything cool, everything turns, everything's good and flush. All right, set this to the side. Bradley, get those 6 screws out, sir. Do them one at a time, whatever. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now let's go ahead. We'll do these one at a time. Okay, I'll take this out of your way, Bradley. Okay.
From what I saw, it's the R6 one goes on the screw. Like that, yeah.
Yeah. So, something to pay attention to here is if you lay it down, it will actually push this up. So you have to keep just a little bit, lift up a little bit. Okay, we got one started. This is so much easier with somebody else, Bradley. We got two, and one on top. Okay. Okay. Take the next one loose, Bradley. Two, three. Now this piece can just go over here. We will go back, set this down. And it does tell you, like Bradley said, there is a, right here it says R, and this one says L, so that will tell you right and left if you get them mixed up. But if you're just doing them one at a time, you don't really have to worry about getting them mixed up. Two. Okay. All right, so everything is assembled. Look at that. Okay, so the next step in the process, what we're going to do, Bradley, is we're going to leave this in here. What we'll do is we're going to go out and run your antenna, your GPS antenna, your microphone, and then we will backup camera if it continues not to rain. And then we will take this unit out and plug it in. This will be the last thing we do. While we're in here, Bradley, let's go ahead and get everything plugged in. Okay, so let's see. So there's a cap right here for your GPS. So we can get everything plugged in with the GPS and the microphone, Bradley. So there's the antenna, that'll go in. And once we get everything to the car, we can kind of reroute it and everything. So leave that to the side, okay? These will only go one way. If you look, there's like a 4 and a 6 and an 8. They'll only go one place. So this goes there. Okay, well hang on to that, Bradley. We got to run that. That's the factory GPS.
Well, there's an extension for it, isn't there?
No, it threads on there like coax. I'm sure some of the kids watching this don't know what coax is, but you know what coax is, don't you, Bradley?
I do.
Bradley is an electrician outside of here, so he's used to all this stuff. So this is where our factory unit will plug in and goes into there. Now, some of this stuff will plug in up here. This is like your factory subwoofer. If you've got all that, you've got the big fancy units. And like I said, these should only go one place. This is your backup camera input. It goes right beside of it. Well, it goes all the way on the end. All right, Bradley, what do we got over there? What's this one?
So the 415 is the backup camera.
And 4 is
USB adapter.
okay, which is in my hand. Beside of that is the CarPlay.
CarPlay, Android Audio,
Okay,
USB adapter.
and what's 2?
To the audio adapter cable. It's like this.
Which we apparently 2 is not used, or I'm overlooking it. 1 is audio video, and 2 is just audio. Oh, it's in this harness. Okay, I just couldn't see it. Okay, and then the last one we're going to plug in is our USB, CarPlay USB. Okay, these all.
Goes to number 3.
Somewhere I've got something crossed up here. So what's 4?
1, 2, 3, 4 is. 3 is the 4, and 4 is the 6 prong one.
So we figured out what our confusion was. You have two cords here that use the same type of plug. And what it is you have a regular USB, and then you have a USB adapter. And this is in case you have a factory USB port in your Jeep. If you have the higher end stereo or whatever, you will plug this in and plug your factory USB into here. Bradley does not have that. So we use this one, so then we'll end up with 3 USB ports. So we'll plug this in. Bradley, your Jeep must have been, because you said you upgraded it to Bluetooth.
Yeah.
You must have had like the base model, and then you upgraded the stereo.
Yeah, there's a model that has a backup camera in it.
Yeah, which is probably the one above the stereo you had. So how much did you pay for that when you bought that one used?
15,000.
No, I mean you just.
There's the radio.
Yeah.
Then my dad bought it.
Oh.
So I wouldn't know.
It probably was pretty cheap.
It was pretty cheap.
So now we've got all this done. What we'll do is we're going to go out and work on getting the backup. We'll work on getting the GPS antenna and the microphone mounted, and then we will be ready to go. We'll figure out where we're going to put our USBs too. We're back out here at the vehicle. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put Bradley's GPS antenna up here. They tell you to put it somewhere where it's open. So what I've determined is we can run the cord up through here, or down through there, whatever, and tuck it back in here, and just put your GPS antenna right here, and then we'll run the microphone up and mount it right here, and we'll just tuck everything as we go with our trim removal tool. So I've removed this piece of trim. I just popped it loose, set it over there, Bradley. To make this a little bit easier, we'll take your, should be able to just, see if you can pop that off, Bradley. It should just pull towards me, or down. There we go. That'll give us a little bit of extra room to work. Cool. So what we can do with your antenna, Bradley, or your microphone, just run the cord up, run it through there, and clip it right here, right there. All right, Bradley, grab the microphone. So we'll work backwards, Bradley. What we'll do is we'll mount the microphone. It should just have a little clip on it, and we'll just clip it right here, wherever you want to clip it. Like that. Okay, and just take your cord and start tucking it in. Yeah, like that, yep. And I'll get it, and I'll start pulling it down. Be careful when you're in here because there is an airbag in here. So don't be like poking with a screwdriver or prodding or whatever. All right, Bradley, start tucking that in. Okay. Okay, all right, Bradley, take this. We will run it through right here. Can you see if you can grab that right here, Bradley? Down here?
Yeah.
I'll have to feed it through. You'll have to pull it through the bottom. We'll have to. It's hard to show this with hands and stuff in the way, but there's a hole right there. Bradley's going to feed it through that hole. See your fingers, Bradley?
Yeah.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. You should be able to get it, Bradley. Right there, Bradley. You got it?
Yeah.
Right, Bradley's got it. Pull it all the way through, Bradley. Just keep pulling till you run out. Okay. Okay, we've got that fed through. Okay, now you're going to have to run it. I'm going to have to get out of the way. You're going to have to run it down and run it up to there. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get out of the way. Now what he's going to do, make sure, Bradley, when you do that, obviously watch out for your pedals, your steering column, all that stuff. Bradley, hold on a sec. Grab this right here and just pull down, see if it'll come. Ha-ha! Now, that should give you room to come up.
Yeah.
Because there's a hole.
Right here.
Okay, you still should give you some room to work on around it, Bradley. Because if you look, Bradley, right here, there's a hole.
There's a hole right there.
There's a hole right here that comes straight in here.
So again, put it like this. You got it?
Yep, I just stuck my arm through. Cool. All right, I'll pull all the slack up to here. Bet. Now our antenna. Run it over this bar. Cool. Now we'll leave that down for now, Bradley, because we'll have to run the GPS antenna.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's mounted.
All right.
So that's good. So Bradley, get the GPS antenna out of the bag. Okay. And we will do almost the same thing, Bradley, but put it right here, and then you can run it. You know what I'm saying? And wait till we get done to obviously stick it down. And we'll do the exact same thing. We'll put our trim back. And then what we'll do, Bradley, we'll actually leave this undone because we'll run the backup camera right through here too and come in that way. Yeah, just like that. And you've got a piece of trim removal tool, Bradley, you can use to push it in or use your fingers or whatever. We can leave that right there, Bradley. So basically where you've got it's almost perfect. Okay, so now we'll do the same thing we did before, Bradley. I'll feed this through to you. Got it? You should, yep, he's got it. Okay, pull it. Okay, and I'll go through the other side. Okay. And he can hand it up to me. Wow, this is so much easier with two people, Bradley. He'll hand it up, through, and then stick my hand down. I got it. Okay, I got it, Bradley. I'll pull it through. My suggestion is go behind this bar. There's a bar here. That way, if you go over the bar, yep. Okay, so we're gonna leave that loose. So now what we'll do is we'll move on to the backup camera. All right, Bradley, pop your hatch. Leave everything like it is, Bradley. Just pop your hatch. Okay, so what's good on a hatchback is we can literally run. We'll have to figure out where to mount it, Bradley. What we'll do is we'll just mount it to that, and we'll run the cord down. We'll take these loose and run the wire down through here. It's what I've done before. You should have enough room. And then we'll just run it. We should be able to run it down under this trim of this plastic. And then just somehow, the hardest part's gonna be getting it from here to in here.
Yeah.
But we should be able to just almost run it in either beside this or in it. So we'll go get the backup camera and we'll start figuring out how we're gonna get all this done. But the good thing is once we get it in here, like I was telling Bradley, we can just run it down this piece of trim. Just literally run all the cord under here like we did with the microphone and stuff. So it's a good thing about a hatchback versus the truck, because the truck I've got to run it under the truck. So let's go get the camera, Bradley, and then we'll also have to steal, we have to have back a signal to tell it to turn on. So what we'll do is we'll steal the signal off the backup light. That way when the backup light comes on, it tells it to turn on. So we'll have to take this light loose, which doesn't look that bad, and we'll have to crimp into there. I think Bradley knows how to do some electric. So to make our lives a little easier, we took this piece of plastic trim loose. What was that, Bradley? Two, like, were those Allen keys or Torx bits? Or
Yeah, it was a
T30 Torx bit. Yeah, there's two right here we took loose. And then I held the hatch up and Bradley just pulled it down. So now we can get in here and work. We can run the wire down through here into here, however we're going to do it. But we're going to start up there, run the wiring up and come up. Now on the backup camera, you'll have 3 wires. You will have, well, on the front you'll have 3. You'll have, let's see, hold on, Bradley. Now we've got this all jumbled up here. You've got way more wire here than you actually need, all right? Let's just get the harness out, Bradley.
There we
Take the camera back there. Okay. So there is a front and a rear to this harness. Okay. The rear harness has a red and a yellow and a ground and a signal wire, as you can see. Okay. So the front of it only has a yellow and a signal. So what we need to do is we'll take this up to the front and we're going to do this backwards. We're going to feed it through and then we'll work our way backwards, because this will just sit up there. Most of our work's going to be back here. Like I said, we'll take the signal wires, we'll tap our signal for our reverse signal in from our reverse light, and then the ground wire we'll just find a screw somewhere, like right there, and see if it'll ground. Those might not ground because they're in rubber, but we'll find a ground somewhere, or we'll still ground wire off of there. I've run self-tappers into here before for ground, or we'll go to right there or something. And then for we'll pull this loose, run this wire down to here, or actually run the wire up to there, and what we're going to do is we're going to mount the backup camera to this little frame. You can mount directly to the license plate, however you want to do. So let's get the wire ran first, and then we'll worry about all this. Bradley and I got the cord fed up through, same way we did with the other one. Make sure, like I said, go over this bar, because if you go under the bar, you'll have to come up and you take a chance on pinching it. Go over the bar, okay? We have the wire ran. Bradley is putting, here's that piece of trim, Bradley. Make sure you put that back before you put the weather strip on. Oh, yeah. Because it has to go behind it. So we're going to go ahead and put that back, and the reason we're going to put it back is that will help hold that wire from hanging down or wanting to pull. So we're going to get this door done, and we'll slide over to this door. We're going to work in sections. We'll get it done to here, tuck it into here, and then the hardest part, like I said, is going to be getting from here to here. So, but if we can literally just come in beside this, and then there's a harness here we can run with. And like I said, once we get everything done, the only wire should be showing will be right here. Or if we can feed it through somehow, we'll get it figured out. The hardest part's going to be getting from here to here. But there's a million ways. All right, Bradley, close that door. That door's done. You can probably put that piece of trim back too. Yeah. Yep. That door's done. All right, Bradley, so my suggestion is, as you do that, take this guy. That will help you push it in, your trim removal tool. Make sure you're not pushing too hard because you can't cut the wire, but all Bradley's going to do, as you can see, is just very easily slide that up in there. And it will just pop in. You can either pop it in behind here or behind that piece of trim. And then Bradley's just going to shove it, basically, as you can see, he's just going to push it behind that piece of weather stripping to there. Okay, and then once it gets to there, we will just start coming back this way. Now, when we get back to here, we're going to have to pull this piece of trim loose, Bradley, because we'll have to work under this headliner right here. Or you could just, that should be enough, Bradley. Now what we're going to have to do, Bradley, is figure out how to go
up through here.
Yeah. So if we can remove this weather strip, or Bradley, what we could almost do, pull this loose, pull it towards you.
Pull it loose. The weather strip?
Yeah. We'll see what it looks like. I don't like, hypothetically speaking, we could go over that weather strip, but I don't like doing that because then we're going to pinch it.
Yeah.
We got to figure out how to get through here. So we're going to do some figuring, and we'll get this worked out.
All right.
What Bradley and I have done is we're going to start working towards ourselves. We've got our wire to there. We're going to get our camera mount and run the wire. That way we can figure out where they're going to meet, because I don't want to get that one, this wire 100% done, and it not meet the other one. So what we've done is this piece right here should
pull it,
come out. So what you'll do is you'll have two 10s. So that's loose enough to we can work, Bradley. What it is the handles holding
yes.
this. So we've got it loose enough to where we can mount. So what we'll do is we'll run, you'll have two 10s there and then two clips here. So what we'll figure out, Bradley, is we'll figure out a way to get that wire. We'll run it up over the handle or beside the handle or something, or under here. We might just run under there. But what we'll do is we'll take this off, Bradley, and get our camera mounted to here somehow. Probably down here. Up here. We'll mount it right here, Bradley. So take this bracket off. Now, make sure you check with your local law, because I know in some states you can't have anything mounted to your license plate. I know West Virginia used to be real weird about that. So we'll take this loose, and then we'll have 2 mounting screws and a piece of pad to put on there. Mount this, and like I said, then we'll run the wire through there and get it out and figure out where we're going to meet at. Have an idea of where we're going to meet at. So Bradley's going to put his screws back in just to hold them and hold the plate on for now. And then we'll switch down to mounting our camera to that. And then we'll figure out getting our wire, like I said, and run under this piece of trim, and we'll put that piece of trim back. We'll probably just put the wire under there. And we can put this back too, Bradley. So it comes with this little piece of foam, double-sided foam. So what I use the foam for is as an insulator to this, plus it gives you a template of where to put your screws. So you just attach this. Right, then we'll take our mounting screws. You can just tape it if you want to. You can just use the double-sided tape, but I like using the screws. All right, so there should be 2 screws right there, Bradley. You got a drill, or do you need a drill? We got a driver, don't we? Okay, here you go, Bradley. Swap that battery. Swap this battery right here. Okay, so it comes with 2 screws.
Here's the first one.
Okay. Bradley's going to get those mounted. Like I said, this is a good template.
Come on.
Got 1. Okay, now we'll do the other one. Make sure you don't pinch your wire or run your screw through your wire either. And then also when we get done, we'll tighten these screws down. If you run into issues with this, you can take these screws out and take the camera off, mount the bracket, then mount the camera back to the bracket. It's just whatever we need to do. I think we're taking, Bradley, yeah. So now what we'll do is I'm going to leave this loose till we get done. Because then once we get done, get everything hooked up, we can adjust this up, down, make sure everything's straight. Cool. So now we'll put this back on here, run the wire, put it back on there, reattach this, and then we'll go back to getting this and this together, and then the signal wire. As you can see, the wires are ran through. I fed them through. Bradley pulled them through. We got this remounted, and that's snapped back in with the snaps, but we don't have the bolts on yet. We're going to wait till we get done to put the bolts on, that way in case this has to come back loose or something. So what we're going to have to do now, Bradley, is figure out how to get that wire and these wires together. So this right here was not giving us enough room. Bradley, I would just run it.
You put that?
If you think you can get it through there, try it. But I would just, we can just attach it to this.
Yeah, we can.
and then just run this right to it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what we did was we just went under the weather strip and went right here, and you can go through this hole, and I fed it up and Bradley grabbed it, and what we're going to do is we're just basically going to run it. You see this harness? Run it beside this harness, and you can either just run it with the harness, or Bradley actually ran it under here. That way it's good and protected. And we've got it zip tied, but not tied down. When we go back, once we get all the slack out and everything, we'll leave a little bit of slack here, and we'll attach it with a zip tie, and then right here, we'll attach it with a zip tie. Or just tuck it behind the trim, something. Just, okay, and then we'll go to here, attach it with a zip tie, and then we'll go to here and here. Sweet, so we can now plug this in. Bradley, plug those in. Red to red. It's really weird to me, Bradley, on here, that there's a red here, but not a red up there.
Yeah.
So now what we've got to do is we got to find a ground and an input signal. Our input signal will come from there. So what we'll have to do, Bradley, is run a piece of wire. We'll start here, basically with this one, like we just did, back through there, down to there, and to here. So Bradley, let's give it about 5 minutes, hope it quits raining. We'll close everything up and take a little break, and just hang out for a few minutes. Sound like a plan to you?
Yeah.
So while it's raining and we're waiting, so we've run our 3 USBs into the glove box, right down through there, just like I did on the F-150. I was thinking about running one through here, but we would have to take all this loose. And I would say that's where the factory one's probably at too, Bradley, if we looked. You could also run it like through here, would be, and leave it hanging right here, but I'm sure right there's fine, Bradley. Most everything you'll be doing is wireless. So as I learned on the F-150, it is easier to plug everything in here and then plug it in there than it is to plug everything here and then plug it into here. So we're going to do that. So we've got our USBs run. All right, Bradley, let's start with, let's start before we forget. Okay, there's GPS.
Some microphone.
Okay, where is the microphone plug at? Right there, Bradley, where it says external microphone. All right, Bradley, let's start connecting. So we need backup camera input. Cool. Yep. All right, so now we need antenna. Let's do antenna. Actually, before we forget, Bradley, that one, GPS. Yep. It threads on like a piece of coax. Yep. So we've got our backup camera input, our backup camera signal. Okay. Okay, so we've got this connection, Bradley.
Power.
All right, so I'm going to set this down up here, Bradley, so we can both get in here and work. That's your antenna. Yes, sir.
I think the last one's power.
All right.
Or then also the...
Yeah, I'm going to turn this around, Bradley. Okay. Cool. So now we've got, let's get our HVAC plugged in, which is down here.
You got first, or you said you got last?
Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to go as we go. Yep. Okay, so that should go in there.
There's this one.
Yep. What do you need me to do, Bradley? Just hold it. Okay. Does that go? We only unplugged one, Bradley.
Do we?
Yes.
First one also.
Wait, that one's on top, Bradley. So it'll plug into here. So you got this one.
Where's this?
Yeah, which is your main plug. Yep. Okay. Now where does that one? Does that one not plug in?
I could have sworn it came in.
It did come unplugged, but we didn't unplug anything from down there, Bradley. See how it's over this?
Yeah.
It would
I
go
think
in.
there's two things that plug into the bottom. Oh.
Aha.
That's my cigarette thing.
Cigarette thing.
My cigarette.
Plug. I think that's it, Bradley. But we did unplug that, but apparently it doesn't plug back in. That's everything we got. Bradley, you got your key?
Yep.
Put some lipstick on this pig and see what happens. Let's see. Oh, we got signal. Hold that, Bradley. Sean, you need an oil change, Bradley.
No.
All right, we're booting. Let's do the big test, Bradley. Yeah, all right. So now what we'll do, Bradley, once everything gets booted here, this app is starting. Once we get it, you got to get the... Oh, and everything looks good so far, Bradley. Okay, so turn the car back off. Okay, everything works. So now we'll go back and finish up the backup camera before we get this all mounted in here. So this will kind of just...
That's that right here.
Can just kind of hang out for now for just like 5 minutes. Cool. Let's go. Bradley, we just ran into something I've never ran into. So what Bradley and I were getting ready to do was run the ground and the power off of here. So I got in there to turn on the reverse light so we can figure out which wire this was. And it already has signal. The backup camera already works, as you can see. So apparently somewhere in the harness, there's a backup signal goes to that to tell it to turn on the camera. I've never seen this. I've never ran into it. I don't know. Normally you got a still signal from somewhere, but that's less wiring we got to do. So when you get to this point, whatever we've done has done something. So cool. So we'll get everything buttoned up and we're done. Bradley's putting the bolts back. We have went through and zip tied here, zip tied all this, zip tied that to there, and we also put one here to hold that wire to that. So now we're going to start putting the trim back together, snapping everything back together, and then I will start putting some tools up, Bradley. I'll put my drill and my screws and all that stuff up, and my crimpers, and you can get that piece of trim on, and we'll be done back here. All the trim is back. Bradley's getting ready to put the bolts in.
Get the bolts.
I bet they're in that dish, aren't they?
Yeah.
The problem with putting all your tools up before you're done. Those two? That's handy, Bradley. Handier in a pocket on a t-shirt. When you don't have a magnetic tray, a hand helps. This is, once again, why it's good to do this with two people. This should be ready to go back in. We just got to make sure, Bradley, everything goes. Make sure you don't pinch anything between here and that bar. Okay, so everything should be. Bradley's going to tuck everything up in there. Line up our top. Line up our sides. Something's hitting on top, Bradley. I think our vents are not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, something, that or one of these. Are all three of those right there lined up, Bradley?
Yeah.
Okay, looks like it needs to come down. Something's not. We're lined up on the sides. Yep, so that's lined up. It acts like it's right here, Bradley. I think it's the vents.
Yeah, the vents weren't in. For whatever reason.
So those are going in on top. It acts like those are like super stiff. The problem we had before on the Civic was these are like, we good, Bradley? Or super, it's the things up here. Something's not letting us go in. See the bottom?
Bottom's in.
Yeah. Something is hitting somewhere, Bradley. The problem we had on the Civic was these are a lot stiffer than the factory. So we had to like muscle it in. Something is not, hold on, Bradley. Something's hitting, it acts like it's here.
Oh, yeah. Is there anything in the way of the...
I'm trying not to push on the tablet. Ah. It acts like it's the vents, Bradley.
Yeah.
Everything should just... anything. No, it's the vents that's the problem, Bradley. It acts like they're not like lined up. Everything else is.
Let's see if you see any pinching.
No.
I don't.
Everything should be ready to go. Let's pull this back up, Bradley. Okay. Make sure that box goes behind there. It's definitely up on top, Bradley. It acts like it's.
It seems like it's dead.
Things super. There we go. Sheesh. It is just stiff. It is just stiff. These on top are just ridiculously stiff. Okay, all right, fire it up, Bradley. Let's make sure everything works. Now that we've got it together, you should be able to just do the accessory, Bradley. Okay. Okay, now put it in reverse, make sure our backup camera works. Yeah, so now we'll need to adjust it down a little bit, as you can see. We'll do that, but everything works. All right, put it back in park, Bradley. We'll take this off. These up here are just super stiff is the problem. So make sure everything works here. AC works. Yep, this knob works. Okay, everything works. Cool. All right, Bradley, so now what we'll do, turn your phone, get your phone out. We're gonna do some Bluetoothing. All right, get your Bluetooth out. Now you can make it whatever you want to, Bradley. Mine says big truck, but. Okay, you like to scan, yeah.
Eonon. Alright.
And you are ready to go, Bradley. So now, to test everything, here's what we're going to do. Connected, boom. Now, what we'll do, call your dad. We'll just make sure the phone works. Or call your girlfriend, whatever. Yeah, call your dad. Call Gary. Put in your volume. Oh, they do work.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Winkle.
Well, hey, how's it going?
It's good. We're calling you on Bradley's new car stereo.
Wow.
We're testing everything out, make sure it works. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
So, all right, cool. So we just wanted to test it out and we figured we'd call you. So we're done.
I don't give you permission to use my voice or license in any kind of video.
Too late. All right, Brad, or all right, Gary. Thank you.
All right, later, guys.
Later. Everything works, Bradley. So now, this is the screen I like. You can do whatever, but that's the other screen. This is the screen I go to. And like I said, it will automatically pull up home, Walmart. It'll normally pulls up the last place you've been, or like if mine pulls up work and home. Okay. So like you can do, that's your phone, Bradley. You can send text. So if you want to be like, if you want to text, you can literally say,
You said, okay, I am here.
Go ahead.
And then Cody said, KK door is unlocked.
Do you want to reply?
Yes.
What's the message?
Hello.
Okay, it's sent.
And that's how easy it is. Now, the cool thing is, turn it off. Now, when you turn it on, it should, mine,
Should go
automatically do Android Auto. And what I do, once it gets plugged in, is I just plug mine in and just leave it, put it here or whatever. Now you're good to go, Bradley.
Yeah.
So that's it. This was very, very easy. Did you think this was easy, Bradley?
Pretty easy.
Would you do this again? Do you think this is a big upgrade over your other one?
It definitely is.
Yeah, and you got a backup camera.
I got a backup.
So we'll get that adjusted and get it tightened down with screws, and then we'll be golden. Bradley and I appreciate you watching this video today. If this video has helped you in any way, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button because it helps us make more videos like this.